What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are having a good day right now. Hopefully better than mine. I'm having a pretty good day. We're gonna be working on the S2000. Kind of knocked out a few things the other time. Gonna try to get everything prepped. Hopefully today to get the engine out. The next time, gonna end up disconnecting the drive shaft, some of the wiring. So it's gonna be a pretty fun day. I can tell. Got a lot of the hard stuff knocked out the last time. It's not even hard. We just got like a lot of the fluid and stuff out, which is always a pain working with these cars. And we're just gonna have a fun time. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put on my work hoodie. You can tell I got a sparkle hoodie on. Really don't want that to get dirty. But I got a thicker hoodie I've been using for a couple years now. And let's just get to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the interior first. So I'm going to take out all the wiring that's going inside the car to the engine bay. I don't want to work underneath the car and have my back on the seats and just dirty up my interior. That's not fun. You don't really want that to be like a hindsight. So let's get down to it. So I personally don't know where the ECU is at, but what I was told that it was somewhere underneath the driver's side. So I'm gonna get to looking for that. Shouldn't be that hard to find. If not, then I'm gonna take my first guess and look underneath the passenger side. Actually, nope, I see it. I don't know if I pick it up, but it's actually behind all this wiring, and it's behind this. So I might have to remove the kick panel to get access to it, but it shouldn't be that hard. Disconnect the wires, fish it throughout the engine bay, and it should be good times. So found the ECU. It was behind that kick panel. Just 3 connectors as far as I can tell, and then that wiring harness shoots straight out. So it's pretty simple. 1, 2, and 3. All 3 connectors. Now I just gotta make sure that nothing else is. Oh, there's one more body harness right there. I gotta disconnect, not a big deal. So got that last body clip, took it off camera because, what the heck? I took it off camera because that one was kind of hard to get to. Gotta use like my entire body to get in there because it was a lot more tucked in there than the little plugs for the ECU. But that was it. Got all the connectors. Now I'm just gonna start fishing those connectors through, or the harness through, back in the engine, and then start disconnecting all the wires that's connected to the body to the engine, and that'll be done for the wiring. Then I can start working on underneath the car and all like the miscellaneous stuff that I'm gonna need to take out. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I had to go underneath or inside the car and pull this rubber boot out. So now that's out. I think I start pulling out the harness. But before I do that, I gotta take the wires out from the gauge that went through my gauges, my oil temp and my oil pressure wire gauges from that harness, because I actually pulled the wires through that. So I gotta take that out first, and then I'll be able to take out the engine harness. Wire for the gauges are out now. I should be able to pull out the engine harness, and I don't think I should be stopped by anything else. All right. Whoop. Feels like I'm hindered. Oop. It's coming. It's coming. one connector. Fill 2. And it's 3. Okay, that's out. Whew. Alright, it wasn't so hard. I just gotta start removing these other body connectors that's kind of stopping this harness from coming on top of the engine. So disconnected some of the wiring off to the driver's side up top. So now I'm gonna get underneath and start knocking some of those wires out. It's kind of hard to get to some of the connections up top, and I did forget a couple tools, so I can't get everything up top, but I'll start working on the bottom for at least for the wiring part. Try to knock out as much as I can get with the tools I have, and just see where it goes from there. So I gotta try to remove those heater hoses because I can't successfully pull those wires out. So even though I don't got the right pliers, I'm gonna try my hardest to get that out because that's really hindering me, and I really want to try to knock out as much stuff as I can today. Instead of trying to take out the clamp, got impatient, just took some pliers to it and just snipped the hose. Those would take me way longer to get that hose off. Plus that clamp is pretty old too. So you can probably see where I cut that hose off. It's literally right there. So yeah, that's where I cut it. It doesn't take too much time to try to get the clamp off, and like I said, it is pretty cold. So coolant hose cut, I can continue kind of fishing through the engine harness and just getting ready just to lay it on the engine, so I can get done and get to my next thing, which is start removing the drive shaft and whatnot. So disconnected at least all the wires that I can see and the hoses from the driver's side. Next up, I'm going to start disconnecting the slave cylinder from the transmission, and then start seeing what I can do from the passenger side. So before I get back underneath the car and start disconnecting like the slave cylinder and whatnot, I'm actually going to take a little break and start cleaning off some of the other stuff that I took off previously. They're pretty dirty, and I want to try to get them clean and kind of position mainly the oil cooler, because I plan on getting another one, so I have them both on both ends of the car. And after I get done with that, get back to it. That's done. That little break, I guess you want to call it. I'm gonna get working on underneath the car. Like I said, get in the clutch master cylinder, the slave cylinder. I'm sorry, the slave cylinder out, or disconnecting the slave cylinder. All right, so that bolt, I have to disconnect that. That's going to be the line from the master cylinder all the way to the slave cylinder. I don't have to disconnect the entire slave cylinder, but I'm going to replace it when I take the engine and transmission out. Good thing I grabbed my my pen to make sure that I was going to catch all the fluid that was going to drain out. And I almost busted my knuckle. So it turns out I can't disconnect the drive shaft either. I need like a T50 socket, and I don't have that at the moment. So I have to wait for that. For the most part, I'm just going to try to disconnect the engine mount and just try to get as much done as I can. There is some stuff that was hindering me, but that's okay. It happens, stuff happens. So that's pretty much it for the video. I ended up not disconnecting the fuel lines just because I didn't want any debris to get inside the lines or inside the engine. And I did remove the engine mounts, but I didn't do it on camera because it was kind of hard to record and actually watch me do it at the same time. So I opted not to do that. So I will be taking out the drive shaft and the fuel lines in the next video. But for right now, that's it. If you guys like the video, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. There's going to be some more footage coming out in the future, especially for some gaming. And hopefully next time I will probably be taking out the engine. If not, it'll be in the next video.